Hello, and welcome to Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on the 12th and final episode of My Dress Up Darling. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So after the events of the last episode, one has to wonder how anything could possibly escalate further. Frankly, I don't think any escalation is possible, barring something incredibly drastic that I don't think could be shown on broadcast television, frankly. Interestingly, I think this is the first time we've seen Gojo working on a Hina doll in quite a while. Granted, his hobby was never really a focus. My boy, fireworks. How topical. Been a lot of people setting off fireworks around here, and it's been a task editing them out. So if we hadn't smash cut to what seems to be a study date, I would be wondering if we weren't going to get like a stereotypical fireworks confession where someone tells the other person, "I love you," but the sound of the fireworks going off masks their confession. Oh, so it seems like there's some family shenanigans going on. Marin's dad is kinda, I guess, flaking or micromanaging or something. I guess as a result, she's been unable to go to any of the summer festivals that are basically stereotypical at this point in anime. Seems like that this is going to be ripe for some sort of romantic scenario. Oh, wow. That is a very nice image of Marin. Man, that's interesting. You know, she sort of neglected to mention that she was a catalog model earlier when she was talking about all the money she earned from her job. I find it interesting that her hobby is also functionally being a model. Man, so it all just goes back to the DSLR. That's why she's been working so much, neglecting homework, thus leading to the current predicament. Oh no. Time to watch a scary horror movie. That's not gonna end well. I am precisely the type of wimp who will only watch old horror movies. Alright, so Gojo's going into this like, I don't watch horror movies, and everyone's like, oh, it'll be fine, but it seems like he's unfazed and she's terrified. You know, I'm wondering if she was sort of like trying to freak him out so he'd cling to her, but it really seems like this whole thing is backfiring horribly. And the movie seems like a weird mix of, like The Ring meets Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, the lady doth protest too much. No, she's talking about how it's not that scary, but Gojo's like, hey, let's watch this cool scene again. He only cares about the costumes and the practical effects. What a bro. He knows what's up. Practical effects in movies are far superior to CG, and they always will be. I don't care who you are or what movie you're referring to. Practical effects are always better. Oh dear, Marin, you forgot your math homework at school. Yikes. Man, having to go to school in the summer break, that's just a pain. It's bad enough being in school during the regular session. Oh, Gojo, you charmer. He's making good on that promise from a couple episodes ago and actually inviting her over for dinner. Man, I have no idea what any of those dishes are that he mentioned, but I'd imagine it's going to be pretty good. I mean, all things considered, I'm a pretty miserable cook. There's a couple things I can cook with proficiency, but I'm definitely not a Michelin star chef. You know, cooking's a pretty neat and useful skill to have. Especially if it's something you enjoy doing. Ah, boy. You know, after that whole Love Hotel business, I can't help but wonder if Marin's just doing stuff like this purposefully. Like if Gojo's basically just a pawn in her master plan here. Wow. I find it interesting that she doesn't know how to swim. Like, maybe it's just because I learned to swim at an early age that I think it's weird, but like, swimming, like, there's not much to it. You know, as long as you're not freaking out, you will naturally float. It just strikes me as weird that there are people who don't know how to swim. And I guess it makes sense that the first reaction is to freak out. I don't know. Water can kill you, because like drowning is a quiet thing, you know. It's not at all like it's presented in films. You know, if you're drowning, like you'll just slip under the water and drown quietly. You won't be like splashing, making a big scene or anything. That's pure fiction. See, Gojo's got the right idea. Don't play with water in this case. Sound advice on his part, though. Don't tempt fate here. If you don't know how to swim, don't mess around with water. Man, I feel like this was a pretty big misadventure considering they were just going to get some homework they'd forgotten. Oh boy, it's time for some stereotypical summer festival activities here. Finally get to see Grandpa again, because he's been kind of absent for a little while. Albeit, we only see him a little bit. Just long enough to be supportive and to express his approval of Gojo, doing fun stuff with friends. I'm wondering if, like what Gojo had said before, that this is his first time going to a summer festival like this. I'd imagine it would be. Yep, there we go. Tick that off the list. Marin's wearing a yukata. Man, I like how flustered Gojo is. There's something beautiful about traditional clothes like that. I think especially because... I don't know. Maybe it's just how they're presented, but I think they look nice. The floral prints and stuff like that helps too. Oh man, Gojo doth protest too much. He likes the nape of the neck. Man, totally unintentional on her part, but she managed to hit all the right points. And I feel like all the food stalls would in particular appeal to Marin, given her big appetite. You just have to try one of everything. All that food is probably going to be really good. If a person's setting up a stall in a summer festival, they have to know what they're doing. Oh man, naturally you have to get one of everything. There's just no way around it. Oh, here we go. Here comes the fireworks. I bet somebody's gonna drop a bombshell. Yeah, like I kind of predicted, this is in fact Gojo's first time seeing the fireworks here. So even if the whole thing isn't a first, there's definitely something that Marin can be proud of for sharing a first in. Those fireworks actually look pretty nice the way they've animated them. Like, they actually look really realistic. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised, because normally they're... I don't know, they're kind of flat, usually. Like, they don't... They don't have, like, the bright luminescence that fireworks have in real life. But they do here. I wonder if it was like some sort of CG they're using for this effect. This is an interesting little sequence here. You know, Gojo's basically talking about, like, you know, wow, this is what I was, like, sort of hearing on the periphery of my life all these years. It's interesting. Because, you know, one has to wonder how many things there are in our own lives that are like that, where we just catch a little bit of it, and it's just sort of a constant we take for granted. Oh boy, here goes nothing. Somebody's gonna drop the bombshell. Okay, I guess not. Man, they really baited me with that. I feel like a fool. Oh boy. Gojo, you gonna give her a piggyback ride? Oh boy. Man, I get the feeling she's gonna take advantage of this whole situation to just tease him a little bit more. Man, you know, I've had days like that where my feet have been absolutely wrecked by the shoes I was wearing. You know, you really shouldn't wear, like, work boots for non-work purposes. Like, steel-toed boots especially, you know. They're good if you're at risk of, like, crushing your foot, but, man, you should not wear them all the time. I like the subtle promise here of that there's going to be a next time. So interestingly enough, they've decided to opt to put the credits early and have a little bit at the end. So I'm wondering if this is going to be like an actual reveal or a sequel hook or something. Oh, what's going on? Oh, it was just the horror movie. I was gonna say something must have hit the fan in a real serious way, but oh boy, Marin, she freaked herself out with the horror movie. Classic. Yeah, that's why I don't tend to watch horror movies by myself or late at night. It's just a recipe for disaster. I like sleeping well, and I don't do it frequently enough for my liking. Alright, so if we weren't going to get anything from the fireworks, I feel like this is where we're going to get something. Especially because she says, you can just fall asleep, as long as you're there. Man, isn't that just the eternal predicament of summer vacation? You didn't get nearly enough done as you wanted to. Ah, poor Gojo. Can't keep his eyes open. So I wonder who's gonna drop the bomb here. Gojo, because he's sort of in that, semi-asleep state, or Marin, because he's falling asleep and Shikani has plausible deniability. Well, it looks like Gojo's out like a light. Probably not gonna be him, unless he talks in his sleep. Oh, it was her after all. Man, that's wholesome, the way they sort of, superimpose their two beds together. Well, she admitted it to him sleeping that she loves him, so I guess the next logical step is to do it in person, hopefully soon. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. See you, Space Cowboy.